Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brain Tunes with Archana. Today, I have with me a very eminent personality, Mr. Sushant Mysorekar. Let me give you a brief introduction of who Mr. Mysorekar is. Talking about Mr. Mysorekar has been a pioneer in the field of cognitive memory. He is a cognitive behavioral specialist, and today I have the pleasure of introducing him to my audience on Brain Tunes with Archana. Welcome, Mr. Mysorekar. Talking about Mr. Mysorekar, he is the CEO of BrainRhyme Cognitive Solutions Private Limited, and the titles that he holds are innumerable, right from a cognitive behavior therapist to a certified musical Windows master trainer in memory. Now, in a short while, he will be speaking about all of these so that you have a better understanding of what he trains in and what he's a master at. He is also the Vice President of Indian Memory Sports Council India. He's a chairman in the National Association of Sports and ICT Dubai chapter. He is also an executive member of the Egyptian Federation of Mental Sports. He's authored several books, including Super Tips for Super Memory, Super Power Memory for Busy Professionals. Added to these, the programs that he has conducted are seminars, workshops, coaching. So you can see he has done a range of seminars on effectiveness of brain utility. He's also done workshops to provide detailed forecast of usage of systems, tools, and techniques. He's also a coach. His journey would be to actual realization on one-on-one hand-holding basis. He's also trained for LD, glaucoma, autism, ADHD, CPMS, and Alzheimer's patients. These are all technical terms, medical terms, which Mr. Sushant would be a better person to explain. Going further, talking about his career highlights, he has organized international conference program on cognitive development. He's a president, training wing of Entrepreneur Excel. He's published international paper on ICT in education, Excellence Award by Asia, Africa Development Council in cognitive training and coaching. So you can see he's spread his wings globally. He's a strategic partner of School Memory Championship Lebanon, TTP program for MIL trainers from India and abroad. He's a certified Carl Rogers person-centric counselor. He's also the promoter of Indian Memory Championships in Mumbai, a certified child psychometry IPH Mumbai, promoter Indian Memory Championships in Hyderabad, strategic partner School Memory Champ Egypt. First scientific memory conference was conducted in Egypt in the year 2015. He's a promoter of the first Open Memory Championships in India 2014. 11 Arbiter World Memory Sports Council. He's the Chief Secretary, Indian Memory Sports Council, High World Ranker, Program Certified by Vocational Board, moderator at international conferences, Mumbai, Jaipur, etc. TAP certified memory trainer. So in addition to being a memory coach, he has his own company called BrainRhyme, which has a tagline of a pathway to success. And yes, undoubtedly, he has been training not only children, but also senior citizens. As we go further and you hear it from the horse's mouth, you can find him on all of these social media handles. He's on Facebook, LinkedIn, and also YouTube. Now, without much ado, let me introduce you to Mr. Sushant Mysorekar, presenting the CEO of BrainRhymes, Mr. Sushant Mysorekar. Hello, everybody. Archana is back with Brain Tunes with Archana. And today I have one of the most intelligent persons I've ever met. Welcome to my studios, Mr. Sushant Mysorekar.
Thanks, Archana.
It's amazing having you on the show, Mr. Mysorekar. And let me give a brief of who Mr. Mysorekar is, and then he can talk about himself. So, talking about Mr. Mysorekar, he is the CEO of Brain Rhyme Cognitive Solutions Private Limited. Now that is something which is unique. What is cognitive solutions, Mr. Mysorekar? Could you please enlighten us about it?
Yeah, cognitive is completely what you can say a branch of neurology, neuroscience, which deals with right from understanding the subject till the final recall. So as we all were students when we were studying in school, there were some teachers who were excellent, but we were not excellent at that time, and we were not able to understand. So at that time, we don't realize why we are not able to understand. That time we don't realize why I am not able to cope up with my studies, why I am not able to write the right answers for the questions which have been put forward. So the loops which are in between, it becomes very difficult for a student to understand where it is lacking. And we as cognitive therapists help students to understand the gap and join the gap. And once the gap is joined, the chain is created. And once the chain is created, I think right from understanding till the final recall in the examinations, we all get fantastic results.
Lovely. So, Mr. Mysorekar, you are just like in our introduction, you have a list of titles behind your name. Cognitive behavior therapist, you explain what a therapist does. Now, what is a memory coach author? So, how do you help with enhancing the memory skills, Mr. Mysorekar?
Okay, memory is a part of the human brain which allows you to store information and keep it at the right place, because as we have compartments in our house, in our cupboard, similarly the brain also has compartments. So we have a frontal lobe, we have a occipital lobe, we have a temporal lobe, we have a parietal lobe. So all these lobes combined together, they gather the information, they collect the information and pass it on to the neurons. There is something called relay neurons. So these neurons pass on the information. They really help us in all the things, whatever you do. So now the language, now we both know English language and we have a vocabulary set of words. And that is why we are able to communicate with each other. So the set of words which are already been in our dictionary or which has been stored, that we need to have at the right time, at the right place, and you need to communicate with the right people, the right way and the right approach. So memory helps you to hold on this information and pass on and connect with the right people so that you can communicate your thoughts in a right way, so that people understand you better.
Wow, that's very interesting. It was all very technical with neurons and then relaying of the information from the different types of lobes that are there in the brain. Undoubtedly, it all seems to be very complicated, and the technical jargon that you use is amazing, Mr. Mysorekar. So, how does this actually assist with the superpower memory which you have mentioned? And what have professionals got to do with this, Mr. Mysorekar?
Okay. I believe that we are born genius. Ultimately, the school have not really adapted certain teachings or educational platform or a paradigm shift wherein is required to train students right from the small age on creativity, thinking skills, decision making skills. And this is what we lack when we become professionals, because these are not being taught. And when, as a professional, we have to day in and day out take decisions, work on certain aspects. Maybe we do a lot of webinars, seminars. Now during the lockdown, I think we all have done fantastic webinars. We have all joined courses. We have done a lot of certification programs and all this. Now, coming back to practicality of this, when I say that I have done all this, let's say I have 50 certificates. My simple question to all professionals: these certificates, does they carry any value? Does they carry any weightage in terms of your personality? Because definitely with this 50 certificates, you have gained immense knowledge. You have gained immense learning from all those certificates and training programs. But how are you using that? Are you able to use that properly? Are you able to communicate your wisdom, your understanding of that subject? Because we each have different analogies and different judgments, analysis of the things which we do. So if we are able to communicate properly what we have learned and get results out of it, then I think that you have really created a value out of it. If that doesn't make any sense, then there's no point just going for webinars, making presentations, and learning a lot and filling up your profile.
Undoubtedly. So whatever you have learned in theory should be translated into practical is what you mean, Mr. Mysorekar. And you need to prioritize things. You need to see how, it's not that randomly we are attending something, adding to our repertoire of certificates. Instead, understand how they can actually assist in our personal and professional growth. Lovely,
True.
Mr. Mysorekar. So, Mr. Mysorekar, could you tell us about what is this that during our introduction, the programs that you conduct? We were speaking about the seminars and workshops that you do with what is it? Trained LD and glaucoma.
Yeah. Now these programs are specifically not just the programs. I don't call them programs, because program, it is a start date and the end date. So I see this as a continuous process wherein it, it should touch the human minds, it should touch the feelings, emotions, and proper understanding of that subject. Unless and until you really gear up with that and practically apply those things, you cannot say that I have successfully learned a certain thing. The practical application and results count. In future, I personally feel in future, after this pandemic, when everything is open, I feel that not looking at only the positive part of it, but also the creative part of it, wherein we can all create certain new things which will be completely new for the next generation to take up those things as a challenge and move forward. So looking at, I feel that this continuous process should generate new avenues, new versions. And once these versions come up with 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, there is an upgradation which is happening. And this upgradation should help us all to move forward in the right direction.
So, Mr. Mysorekar, how aware do you think people are about these concepts?
Last 10 years, people have been now able to understand how the brain functions, because a lot of knowledge has been shared on internet. A lot of prominent people from across the countries have been talking and doing a lot of research. We have also initiated with one of the projects called Neuroscience in a Classroom, which we are a strategic partners with them. And this is again a program which helps the teachers to understand how the psychology of the student works. Unless and until a teacher understands the student, it is not at all feasible or viable to teach the students, because now the concept of teachers has been completely wiped out. The teacher concept has been taken by Google, and the teachers have now been converted as a facilitators, because Google has a lot of information. The facilitators help the students to understand what are the information which is relevant to you, which are the information which are used for research, which information you can transform or correlate or connect with certain things, so that you can have a good article. You can design your own journals, or you can say research papers, because I personally feel that Indian students lack those skill sets which are required to reach at a global level, because there are a lot of things happening in Finland, Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, and these countries are coming up with new innovative ideas. And those innovative ideas, we just take it and use it. I feel that we should convert them into Indian context. Our Indian cultures are different, our behavior aspects are different, our way of dealing with people are different. We are all emotionally connected most of the time. So the networking collaboration is the concept is completely different. I'm not saying it's completely 100% different, but there are certain factors which, if that can be converted into Indian context and been put forward in front of the teachers and the students, I think it will make a really very good impact, and we can be number one in near future.
Amazing. So, do you actually conduct programs for teachers to understand, teachers and the education system, schools, management about these concepts, so that they can actually relate and take ahead the education process according to these, Mr. Mysorekar?
Sure. Our teachers are really excellent. They are the number one in the world, provided they are ready to learn. Because now the future concepts will be not based on the 35 years or 40 years experience, what they have gained immense knowledge, but they need to learn the new way of technology, the new way of online learning. There are a lot of hurdles, there are a lot of challenges which are bound to come. So teacher needs to really, I coined this term as facilitator and diversified agents. So they need to really learn the concepts of how to tackle the students. Because when I talk with students and teachers, they mention that when you stop your video and stop your audio, we don't know whether the student exists over there. So now I see this as a challenge for the diversified teacher to be so prominent that the student should not, his finger should not move towards the stop video. He should be so prominent and so excited to learn the things that he will not dare to go and switch off the video. So this is the skill I think which needs the facilitators needs to adapt and learn the new way, the new culture, the new different online platforms, the media, and profiling of the students, understanding of the human brains, how it works, what is that which triggers, and what is their concentration and focus level. So I think if this a teacher understands, I think he or she will be able to do a better job and be a best of the teachers. I take this opportunity on Brain Tunes with Archana to congratulate all my teachers who have really transformed and have got me and understood and made me a transformational change from what I am to who I am. So I really, on this platform, I take this opportunity to thank all my teachers. Even my friends are my teachers, my wife, my father, my children, and all the small kids who have all been, I've trained them, I've learned a lot from them. So I salute to all my teachers, and I bow my feelings and emotions to all of them. And I really am blessed to have all these teachers in my life.
That's lovely, Mr. Mysorekar, that you are offering your obeisance to all your mentors, all your teachers on this platform for this fast approaching Teachers' Day. And good job they have done by producing such an efficient student like Mr. Mysorekar. So my respects to them as well.
Sorry to interrupt. I would, before we go on to the next question, I would specifically like to take 3-4 names over here who have really transformed my life. First name is Vikrant Safekar, without whom I would have never existed in this memory field. He has been a limelight to, like me, to thousands of trainers, thousands of students in India and abroad. So my first bow to him. Second, my bow to Dr. Francis Xavier from Bangalore. Is as young as 85 years young, and I've learned a lot from him. Again, thanks to Vikrant Safekar who connected me to Dr. Francis Xavier, and my current mentor and my Guruji, Dilip Mukherjee, without whom I would have never transformed from my version 1.1 to 1.2 and 1.3. So whatever my future versions will be in progress, I completely owe that to him, and I'm really blessed to have him as my mentor.
Truly said regarding this Mr. Dilip Mukherjee, sir. And I have had the honor of associating with Mr. Mukherjee, sir. And the background that you see here with Brain Tunes with Archana has been designed by this genius. And you can see how beautifully he has translated or explained what Brain Tunes is all about. You see, how associating and interacting with people belonging to your fraternity can actually enhance your knowledge. And that is what the depiction is all about. So I'm greatly honored, Mr. Dilip Mukherjee, sir, for having given me such a beautiful banner to take my program forward with the masses so that they can associate it with what we are doing and why we are doing.
Again, one of the prime important, need not forget about my wife, who have really been a very big contributor and I have learned a lot from her. And it is really, she is one of my good mentors who have shaped me, because my shape before the marriage and shape after the marriage is completely different.
Lovely. So it is very nice, Mr. Mysorekar, for you having given credits to all these amazing people in your life. And it was really sweet that you acknowledged Mrs. Mysorekar's role in assisting you or transforming yourself to be a better version of yourself. Amazing, Mr. Mysorekar. Could you tell us something more about how you help children suffering with autism and ADHD, cerebral palsy, or multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, a world of, what do I say, health issues related to the mental dimension, because learning disabilities are not even recognized in the Indian society. So how do you think you can foray into this?
Okay. Before we go on to this, I would like to tell the audience who will be listening to this interview that these are just the tags. Because if you just remove the tags, they are just like we are. Only the understanding aspects are a little bit different, and the working culture and the way they put forward their ideas, their views, their way of approach, it's a little bit different. That's why we tend to bifurcate them. Because when I studied neurology and a cognitive part, I realized that I was a dyslexic kid. I was not able to cope up with some of my subjects. The social studies, I really found it very difficult during my school days. In fact, my teachers were excellent. They had done a beautiful job, but unfortunately, I was not able to understand what they are speaking, because the way of understanding and their way of teaching, it did not, the chemistry did not match. And when I learned this, I realized, oh, at that time, if these terms would have been there, I also would have got a tag of dyslexic kid. So when I started Brain and these things were, I did not knew much about it. But as it progressed, and I came across one student, and I could not give justice to that student. And then I felt very helpless, because till that time I was able to, I used to say that the impossible is not in my dictionary. Guarantee is the word which I give. Warranty I have removed from my dictionary. And at that time I realized I became very helpless, because I couldn't help that child. And then I started researching on that, and then I did a lot of study. And since last 4 to 5 years, I've been doing a lot of work, and now I am able to really work on those aspects. And we have designed certain tools which helps autism, learning disability, and so I call them a diversified student, because they have a different culture altogether. The understanding, I can quote certain aspects. One of my student, his speed is 80 to 90 words per minute with 100% accuracy. So this, even we will not be able to do it in spite of having such a good speed. There are some companies, I really salute those companies who have really given an opportunity to autism students, and they have got extremely good results. In software testing, autism students have done a wonderful job. The way they do the testing, the results are completely, accuracy is up to the mark. Unfortunately, they have 6 months or 3 months internship, and later on, as per the company policy, they cannot take them for 1 year. So after 6 months, the student have to search for another job. And if really he is good enough, he is good enough. Company is there, they get him onto the payroll. So I want our Brain Rhyme company is willing to accept and move forward. So we have with us some interns who are of special abilities, and they are doing a fantastic job. And we are really blessed to have them with us. And if any one of you are interested in joining, we are eagerly waiting for such students, and we would love to take you in as our associate, and grow our company with your expertise and goodwill.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mysorekar, because undoubtedly learning disabilities are a part of life, but somehow or till very recently, people never recognized these as real disabilities and attributed them to the kid being very, what do you say, very stubborn, or throwing tantrums at the slightest pretext. But there was no proper realization of why does a child behave in this way. So it is good. It is very heartening to hear that the society has finally woken up to these problems that children face. Like you said, you yourself were dyslexic and realized it only when you started training this and creating a module to assist these children. I think many children suffer from this, and it is really good, the initiative that Brain Rhymes has taken in order to educate teachers as well as parents with this concept that this really is a problem. It has to be dealt with in a scientific manner. So you also gave us an example of this child who was suffering from ADHD, and he has actually grown with leaps and bounds. Amazing to hear that, Mr. Mysorekar. It is amazing, right? So, if you look at your career highlights, it is an unending list. It's just an unending list. So, I guess the PowerPoint presentation or the introduction that I did, anybody wants to refer to what all Mr. Mysorekar has achieved, you can just refer to the list. He has a huge list of accomplishments, and mind you, it does not contain itself to the Indian subcontinent. Mr. Mysorekar has spread his wings globally. Could you tell us something about your global programs, Mr. Mysorekar?
Yeah, we are in Egypt. We are strategic partner with Egypt, Lebanon, Kuwait, and we have tied up now with EduScan Dubai for our international programs. We'll be launching our second batch soon. And talking about this, we also have initiated the Brain Prime radio program. So the radio program app which is there, so that has been spread across more than 15 plus countries. And through this, we want people to come up and share your knowledge, your wisdom in terms of mental health, fitness, and related to cognitive development. Through this interview, through Archana, I would like to ask individuals if they want to connect with us on creating a certain program. So you can get in touch with us. We will share, my number will be shared by Archana, and you can get in touch with me. You can send a WhatsApp, and we want people to come up with your wisdom, with your knowledge, with your learnings, which you had for years together, to share it with the globe and tell them exactly what are the different avenues, what are the different career options, what are the different ways they can really improve on their mental health. Now today we are all prone to technology, and because of this, the aging has dropped down from 60 to 40 plus. So I come across a lot of my friends who says that I forget this, I forget the names, I don't know where I've kept certain things, or the whole day I'm so exhausted that I forget to have my lunch. Again, this is terrible. So I would appeal to them that they need to really work on the internal resources, which is the big brain, which we all have been fortunate to get it free of charge. And we should thank Almighty for giving us just 3 kg, what you can say, an object which can transform your thinking, which can transform the way you speak, the way you move, the way you put your ideas, and your presence. What you are is what your brain is. So if you learn how your brain works, it will definitely help you to understand your cognitive abilities, improve your skills, monetize on the change which is happening, and transform from creativity to cash. This is the tagline of Dilip Mukherjee, who has been a pioneer into creativity and innovation. His around 50 books have been used in Canada, Singapore, Malaysia, universities, and as a part, and they are a part of academic syllabus and competitive examinations in many of the countries. So, if you really understand these concepts, I think it will really help each one of us, and it will grow everything exponentially.
Interesting, very interesting, Mr. Mysorekar, and undoubtedly, so professionals out there and people with skills in helping children or helping professionals or senior citizens also with their cognitive and memory strategies are most welcome to be associated with brain drives, like Mr. Mysorekar said. And the radio program is something which will give you a wide exposure. So I will be giving all of the social media handles on which you can find Mr. Mysorekar and you can connect with him. So it was a very interesting aspect which you revealed to us now, Mr. Mysorekar. Creativity to cash is what you said. And that is to train your brain. Am I right, Mr. Mysorekar?
Right.
Right. And could you tell us something about the seminars or the master classes that you conduct? And who do you think would it benefit and who should actually enroll for the master classes?
Okay. So we initiated this masterclass a few months back, and yesterday, every Wednesday and Saturdays we have this masterclass. Now the concept behind this masterclass is to promote trainers. So I want that there are many good trainers who really would like to come in the limelight, or they are already into limelight and they would like to spread their knowledge and their learnings through a lot of amateur or students or professionals who are in different areas and are looking out for certain knowledge gain and learnings, because we all are hungry for learning. So learning is a continuous process. So every Wednesday we invite one speaker to speak on a certain topic. So 45 minutes he speaks on one specific topic. Then 15 minutes a discussion. So because in the masterclass there are a lot of learned people, right from the fresh graduates till the 30-40 years experience amateur, the different professionals. So here they help to understand the different aspects of the learning which happens in those 15 minutes, and it's open up for question answer session. So overall a game plan of 1.5 hours gives a detailed understanding of the subject, connects you to people, network with like-minded people, because those interested in that subject, they all come together and there are a lot of connections which happen. So one of the trainers gave me a call and said, after your master session, I got an international assignment, which I was waiting since last few years. One of the trainers said that after your master class, four of the students from the master class whom I didn't knew, they attended my program, and it really gave me a revenue model. So it helped me to design a program for them, and this is what. So every trainer has this different experience. Saturdays I've exclusively kept for storytelling. So stories which through stories and life stories, because we each one of us have certain stories, and we have undergone ups and downs, because I always believe that our heartbeat also goes ups and downs. So it has to be in the life cycle. And those ups and downs, I want people to share with people, so that when they come out with some challenges, they will remember the ups too and the downs too. And they should find certain solutions, because there is always, I believe, that is n+1 solution, and they can get those solutions and implement those, and these sessions can help somebody who is really in need of that.
Lovely, Mr. Mysorekar, and trainers, if you're out there listening to this conversation, you've got a lovely platform in the form of Brain Rhyme Masterclasses, wherein you can showcase your knowledge and also from not only imparting your knowledge, but also building a revenue model, like Mr. Mysorekar said. And I would definitely insist on all of you who have been listening to this talk now to go over and check out Mr. Sushant Mysorekar on his LinkedIn or on Google with the Brain Rhymes website. So you undoubtedly will have a clearer understanding and an in-depth understanding of what Brain Rhyme is all about, and associate with Brain Rhymes if that is your niche. So it was amazing having you here, Mr. Mysorekar. Would you like to give any message today to my audience?
Sure. because I believe that each one of us are talented, each one of us are genius, and each one needs to showcase understanding your hidden skills, because this COVID has really given an opportunity to each one of us to identify what are the core areas, what are the prioritical areas which you can highlight. Because talking about me, I did not knew certain skills which I thought they were just it's a fluke. But when the realization happened, there were certain skills which were hidden in me, and in this period I just opened up those skills, and I'm getting fantastic results. So I want that each we I pray for each one of you that if you can identify those skills as fast as possible, but because it took me a long time to identify those skills, and if you are able to identify those skills, it will help you to work on these skills passionately, day in and day night. Because as if you because I'm a passionate trainer and a researcher, so if you tell me to do training and research for 24 hours, I'm through with it. But if you tell me to go through the files, I'll just sleep in 10 minutes. And recently we have appointed a few interns, and they are fantastic, and we will be really working with them. We'll be learning from them, and also we'll be shaping them. We'll be sharing them with all the skill sets, because I have a wonderful team of around 30 people. uh, Archana is one of them, who is handling the language learning club. And you all might have definitely seen that the way she speaks, and there are so many results which she has given internationally too. And I'm proud that we have excellent people with us who are taking leaps and bounds, and making the company grow. So we would invite, if any one of you would like to be a part of Blue Drive, if you have those certain skills and would like to polish those skills, and if you're serious, these are the three things which we look for. It's not a game plan, it's a really your personality developing model, your revenue generation model, and ultimately a growing ladder, wherein we feel that we are here to grow, and ups and downs always comes. We are ready for the challenges. And if anybody would feel that you fit our what you can say, the quiz portal, you are ready to drop in a message, and we can have a one-to-one discussion, and we can really would love to be a part of Brain Drive.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Archana.
Mr. Mysorekar. And indeed, it is an amazing experience to be part of Brain Rhymes. And Mr. Mysorekar, he is a very driven individual who motivates his team to achieve its fullest potential. So it is amazing to be associated with you, Mr. Mysorekar, on Brain Rhymes Radio and even the Language Learning Club. So if anybody is interested in taking up either training or being associated with the form of a trainer with Brain Rhymes, you know where to look at. So the advice is given right below in the profile of Mr. Mysorekar that I'll be posting with all of the relative handles. So all of the numbers will be there, all of the mail IDs will be there. You're most welcome to Brain Rhymes. So it was amazing having you with me, Mr. Mysorekar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Archana. My pleasure.
Bye-bye. Good day.
Goodbye.